Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Grider. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Grider.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Excited to connect in with you on the author's journey, where we talk to amazing experts, best-selling authors that are pulling back the curtain and sharing with us what it's really like to bring your book forward, things they discover, things that surprise them, things they would do again, and maybe things they would never, ever do again, should they have that opportunity and choice. So it's a great opportunity for us to come together, learn from each other, and support one another as we lean into bringing our messages forward. I'm very excited to have our guest today, who is an expert in helping us all become invincible, to rise up again, to really stand in our power. I know you're going to love him. He has so much insight, passion, experience to support us on our journey. But I want to take a moment and connect in first. So let's take a breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just an opportunity to slow down for a moment. This is an opportunity for us to pour into you, and you get to receive. How beautiful is that? We're so good at moving and crossing the next thing off our list and doing, and I'm excited to come alongside you and give you time for you to get to receive and be poured into and supported on your journey. So I encourage you, as you're taking a breath, slowing down a little bit, to get a piece of paper and a writing utensil of your choice so that you can capture insights and ideas that come to you. And part of the reason I think it's great to write them down, not just, oh yeah, I should remember that, is it's so easy to get distracted and forget your thoughts, to move on to the next thing. But by writing it down, and actually physically writing connects directly to your heart. And it also helps bring it forward, truly create it, so it's not swirling around in you, but is actually being brought into reality. So I encourage you, write it down. Have the notepad there or a piece of paper, however you like to take notes, ready, so you can capture those insights that come from our amazing guests, from something that is shared, or maybe when you're slowing down a little bit to listen, you have that aha moment bubble up in you. So capture that as it comes. Beautiful. So it is my deep pleasure to introduce our amazing guest. So Mark Steele is a keynote and TEDx speaker, sales consultant, podcast host, and a #1 international best-selling author. In his 15-year career at Microsoft, he stood out as a high-impact sales leader, delivering over $1 billion in sales. And please hear me, that was billion, not million, billion in sales. He worked with many of the world's top organizations. Today, Mark delivers powerful programs to sales team leaders and Fortune 100 executives, both in person and virtually. He has been featured by major media such as NBC, CBS, Fox, and Thrive Global, and the Boston Herald for his powerful work. He is passionate about helping you step into your invincible success, to sell with confidence, lead with purpose, and speak with impact. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful Mark Steele to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you to all of your listeners for having me.
You are so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here today joining us. And I know we were talking a little bit behind the scenes that it's been a little while since we've talked. And so I'm thrilled to be able to reconnect and have you share your experience and wisdom and insight with our amazing listeners. I know every time we talk, I'm inspired. I have a new idea. There's something more I can bring forward and step more and more into being invincible. So thank you for leaning in, joining us today. And I'd like for you to share a little bit about being invincible. What is that? And why is that important to you? And why is that particularly important in being a leader and being in a sales role and leading people? Why is that so important? And what is it?
There's a lot there, and thank you for asking. For me, let's start with what Invincible means to me and the clients that I work with, what I try to inspire in them is I truly believe that each and every one of us has a gift. We have something extraordinary to share, whether we're in a sales role, whether we own our own business, we work from home, or whatever career or choices we're making in our life. We have a gift that is ours to share with the world. And we need a few things to help us share that gift. And for me, it's really around just having a process, having a way in which we can share that. And then layer on top of that, just relentless determination to share it. And when you combine those three things together, that gift, that unique offering, that relentless determination to share it with the world, and a proven process to succeed, you become invincible. And that's really how that's what being invincible means to me. It certainly doesn't mean nothing bad ever happens. It means that when things don't go exactly the way that you expect them to, that you're able to step back and keep going. And how that came to be so special in my life is there's certainly times in my own career, my own life, where I didn't feel invincible, where I let things like imposter syndrome or not believing in myself hold me back from my brilliance. And it wasn't until I realized how I can develop a process to step through that, to persist and be relentless through that, that I was able to realize my fullest potential and go out there and inspire others to realize their fullest potential.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you breaking that down for us. I know it was a lot in the question. So thank you for walking us through that, and the important reminder that we all have powerful gifts, and that relentless determination, like continuing to be willing to bring it forward, and then a system to do that can help us become invincible. And how important that is with all that's going on in the world right now when things don't go according to plan, or imposter syndrome, or all those other things we need to navigate through to be able to relentlessly, continually bring our message, our gift forward. I love that. We are getting ready to go to our first commercial break, and as we do that, listeners, I want you to reflect on what Mark has shared and just see how that is speaking to you. And take a moment to really feel in to that gift or those gifts that you're called to bring forward. I want you to tap into that and feel what it's like to know that you are supported, that you can bring your gift forward. And we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Grider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that moment, that opportunity to check in and really feel into your gift, your gifts that are wanting to come forward or wanting to be brought forward, and what it feels like to know that they're supported, that there is a system, there's a process out there that can help you bring your gifts forward, and that willingness to keep stepping forward and bring it forward. And with that, I'm going to have Mark again share his definition of Invincible, and then we're going to talk a little bit about his powerful book. So, Mark, would you share again the 3 parts that go into being invincible and invincible success?
Yes. So the definition is when you take your unique offering, your unique gift, and you combine that with relentless determination and a proven process to succeed, you truly are invincible.
Beautiful. And if anyone has read Mark's book, we're going to talk about it in a moment. I'm just smiling because I'm picturing your book cover right now. Mm-hmm. And on the back, there's this picture and arms extended in this invincible success energy that we can have and kind of bring forward. And I just always associate with you, Mark. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about your book and how does this support us with discovering a system or a process or help us start to be able to bring our gifts forward?
The picture you're referring to is actually from a program that I did on stage where and it'll all fall together when I talk about or where I share an excerpt from the book in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. But it's me standing. What you can't see is that I'm standing on a chair on stage with my arms up in the victory pose. And the reason why that picture came about, or it means so much to me, why I wanted to put it on the book, is I think each and every one of us, I believe that each and every one of us has that feeling inside of us that is just waiting to come out if we find what it is that unique offering is, or that something special about us, and then we just step into it, as you say, lean into it with confidence and with purpose and with a determination to serve others with it. And now when I have the opportunity to be on stage or be over a virtual call doing my program, that's what my gift is to be able to encourage others to step into their brilliance. And it just makes me, every time I have an opportunity to do it, I just want to throw my arms up in the air because I get to see, much like yourself, I get to see or watch other people do things that they didn't previously feel that they were capable of, or they were holding themselves back from accomplishing. And that's why it's so special.
I love it. Thank you for sharing a little bit about that picture and that pose and why it's so important. And I know your commitment to helping people step into their invincible success. And one of the ways that you've leaned in to do that, because you have a podcast, you have all these different ways that you're supporting people. But one of them that you decided to do was lean in and bring it forward in a book. And I'd love to know why bringing it forward in a book format was important to you, and what helped you go from someday I'm going to write a book to today being the day I'm releasing and sharing the book out in the world.
For me, what made me decide, I think I had been thinking about a book for quite some time. Probably many years, and just not finding the motivation or coming up with the right voice of what I wanted to talk about, what my message would be. And it wasn't until I really stopped and thought about my legacy. What do I want my legacy in this world to be? And as we've mentioned, I'm a speaker, I'm a sales consultant, I meet with clients, I have the podcast and the YouTube channel, but it was something about the book that people could hold in their hands. I could hold in my hands. I could pass something tangible on to others that really came to see that writing a book was something so special, something unique that any other form of communication wasn't that, and that's why I knew that I did want a book, that I wanted part of my legacy to include a book.
So beautiful. I didn't know that was so important to you, was that legacy, and that was the way you wanted, part of the legacy that you wanted to leave was in that way. So I so appreciate you sharing that. And listeners, I think that's a great thing to think about. This someday I'm going to write a book or bring a book forward, and really thinking about taking action on that and why that matters to you and why that's important. And so I'm curious with you, Mark, what helped you make that shift into someday now this is part of the legacy that you wanted to bring forward? What helped you decide that this is the year to do that and reach out to those that supported you on the journey to bring it forward? What helped you do that, and why did it become important, the timing that you chose to bring it forward?
What made me decide it was probably early in 2019 that I decided that I wanted to start writing, to actually writing. And what I got some support. I started working with a coach and shared with her name is Sarah Victory. I shared with her that this was just something that I had always thought about doing it. And she just really kind of looked me in the eyes and said, it's time to stop talking about something you've always wanted to do and start doing it. And it was that additional nudge, if you will, that additional support that just gave me this motivation, because again, I was like, I'm not sure what exactly the message would be, and she just gave me the support to say, start writing and you'll find your voice, you'll find your message. And I'll be candid, when I did start writing, I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be. And just the process of writing, I started to find my voice. It started to develop that message and get so excited by the process of writing itself, by what I was accomplishing.
Mm, beautiful. But it really took that taking the action and kind of starting to write in order to have that unfold, that it didn't happen before. It was in the action and the doing.
Yeah, without question. Anybody that's thinking about doing it, I would just, and you're coming up with your own, so you're hearing the voices saying, you don't know what it will be about, where would you start, where would it end, how long would it be? Just start writing and let your voice kind of step into your voice, step into your message. Your message will find you if you just keep showing up and taking the time to do writing. I truly believe that the message will come.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that nudge that you were given to start doing it, not just talking about it, but bring it forward, to start writing it, and that it has revealed itself. And then as you did that, as you started writing and finding the book started to take shape and you started to discover what it was about as you're writing it, were there surprises along the journey of the creation to the publishing? Was there something that surprised you along the way?
Yeah, there were a few surprises along the way. One surprise is that a big surprise for me is when I finished it, what would be the first draft, I mentally celebrated as if I had just finished writing my book, and I took probably a couple of weeks to just bask in the glory that I was finished with it. And then I started looking back at it and seeing that was only a first draft. And there were definitely fixes that I wanted to make and tweaks and refining my message. So the big surprise for me was how much I learned through the process of writing that made me want to go back and fix some of the things that I had written early on. And so a big lesson was your first draft is only your first draft. You should celebrate it for sure, but don't think you're done just yet.
Yes. Very, very wise. Yes.
And one other quick lesson for me is get help along the way. I mentioned the coach that gave me the encouragement, but one of the smartest decisions I ever made was working with a talented individual that really helped me take the thoughts in my head and turn them into a book that's so engaging and insightful for others, and then help me with all the things I never wanted to learn in my life, with how to market it, how to get it out there, and how to turn it into a bestseller. And it was making that decision to work with, I'll share a big secret, work with you, Rebecca, that and your organization that really took my message and was able to turn it into something very successful and help me launch the book to a much wider audience than I ever could have thought possible.
Well, thank you, Mark. I so appreciate that. Our whole team and RHG Media, we just loved working with you and bringing your powerful book forward. So it was an honor and a pleasure on our side. And I'm so glad. It's such a great book. It has so much insight and wisdom in it that is inspiring, it's engaging, it is impactful and thought-provoking. So it was an honor to be part of the journey, and we're so excited and celebrate your powerful success. And we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I want you to think about all that Mark has shared and what are some of those things that might help you in bringing your book forward. And when we come back, I'm going to have him share a reading from his book. We're going to get to experience a little bit of his book, and we will continue our conversation. Look forward to talking with you in just a moment.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit Facebook.com/Voice America.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that moment, that pause, and took an opportunity to kind of feel in and see how that insight, wisdom, and perspective is speaking to you. What are some areas that you may want to get support in and bring forward? Perhaps that nudge, that reminder to stop thinking about it and someday and bring it forward. And perhaps this is part of your legacy, the book, the information that's swirling inside you that is wanting to come forward. So all great things to take a moment and think about and feel into with curiosity and see what information and insight comes forward. Now, I so appreciate all that Mark has been sharing about his journey, and I wanted to take a moment to give you a feel of his book. We've been talking about how amazing his book is, and so he has generously offered to do a reading from his book. So, Mark, I'm going to hand this over. I don't know if you want to set the stage or jump right in, whatever you think works most effectively for the segment, the excerpt that you chose. I'm going to hand the floor over to you. It's Mark Steele.
Thank you, Rebecca. This excerpt is from Chapter 1. When was the last time you believed you were invincible? Think back to when you were a kid. Did you ever pretend to have special powers? Most kids, girls and boys alike, dream of having some type of magical power. Do you remember? Were you unstoppable or incredible or super? When I was a boy, I fully believed I was invincible. I proclaimed it to my mom and dad, my brothers, and that happy little boy who always seemed to hang out in the hallway mirror. Of course, back then, to be invincible, all I needed was a towel for a cape, a T-shirt, and some superhero underwear. I would run around the house, climbing on chairs, the arms of couches, and when Mom was not looking, the dining room table. And every time I climbed up on something, I would declare to the world, I am invincible. What was your powerful belief? Unfortunately, as we get older, that belief fades away. We either tell ourselves or are told by others that such thoughts are not real. After all, ordinary people do not have superpowers, right? As time goes on, we start to limit ourselves. We choose to fit in rather than stand out. Where we once thought we could not be stopped, by the time we are adults, we are holding ourselves back from the incredible career and life success we deserve. It does not have to be this way. That is exactly what this book is going to do. This book will make you invincible. And that's what I'll share with you.
I want to clap. I was like, yay! Clapping on behalf of all of our listeners. How powerful. I could picture you. I could connect with you and absolutely stand in that place. And then that opportunity to be able to reclaim our gifts and step into our invincibility, and to have a tool like this available to powerfully support us and stepping into our invincibility so that we can shine and really bring everything we're called to bring forward. So thank you for reading. Beautifully done.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to leave that pause so all listeners, so that everyone listening could take a moment to take that in and just hear and feel it in their heart and in their spirit. And I'm curious, as you share that and have people hear it, and your book was shared out, I'm just kind of reflecting back on the launch that reached so many countries, so many categories, #1 international best-selling status, like again and again, and all these amazing reviews. When you look back on all of that, do you feel like the mission of the book and helping people in that way has been happening, and the response that you're getting, has it been having the connection that you've been hoping it would have?
Yeah, I mean, without question, it exceeded my expectation as far as launch. You know, as I was writing, I shared that I just wanted to get my message out there. I just wanted to have something permanent that I could share with friends and family. But to have it so widely shared and talked about, and have it reach the best-selling status, #1 best-selling status over and over again in many different countries, that was far beyond my expectation. And then just to have the reaction, to have people leaving comments and sending me email messages, and yes, even calling me in regards to speaking opportunities and different coaching opportunities. It's been a wonderful, surreal, happy thing. Mm-hmm. And even in the challenges that we're now facing in the economy and world health, it still has been a tremendous opportunity for me, and something that I'm thrilled to have out there.
Beautiful. I'm so glad, because I know we have, it's such an undertaking when you are bringing a book forward and you have this vision of what you're wanting it to do and hoping that it'll do, and to have it do that and more in a challenging economy in the times that it was released, and to have it so powerfully received. I celebrate. I just think that's so I love seeing that. And it also means you're so standing in your gifts and bringing them forward in a time in a way that is so needed. I think that's really powerful, and I celebrate your willingness to do that, to see it all the way through, to bring it forward, and to touch so many people's lives. Is there anything, when you just kind of reflect back on that whole journey, any tip or insight or something you would share for those listening that are thinking about bringing their book forward?
As far as an insight, I guess goes back to something that we discussed a little bit earlier. Is don't let those voices that are unsure, that don't have all the ideas straight in your head. Don't let those stop you from moving forward. And I feel so fortunate that I started the process of writing and kept at it when I felt that, well, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to read this particular part or something to that effect. Just keep pressing forward, and magic will happen. I think that having the opportunity to share this in such a way and have it forever be there is just something that I'm immensely proud of. And for a kid growing up in small town Michigan, to be able to have a book that I can now hold in my hands and be truly proud of, and so happy that I'm able to share it with others and have such a wonderful response. Just do it, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Just move yourself forward and trust that the message will come, because it will.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And as you're reflecting back so much from the heart on just do it, take the steps, bring it forward, be willing to do that. And I know our listeners have enjoyed getting to experience some of your book, learning from you. And I wanted to make sure everyone knew, one, where to get your book, but also how they could stay in touch and connect with you and go deeper. So one, can you let us know the full title of your book, where we can find it, and maybe just a quick snapshot of the cover so we know what we're looking for and we know we're in the right place?
The book is called Invincible Success. Invincible Success, Sell with Confidence, Lead with Purpose, and Speak with Impact. And it's available on Amazon today, both softcover and hardcover. And you can also get details about it from my website, marksteele.com, without an E at the end, so marksteele.com. And when you're looking on Amazon, the book cover is pretty distinctive. It's very bold in red, blue, and gold. And it's got a great big old shield on the front of it. And the hopes is that it makes you feel invincible just by looking at it. So make sure that you're looking for the Superman-like colors, and that's the best way to get a hold of it. I also pretty actively talk about it on LinkedIn as well as my YouTube channel. So those are good spots to find me as well.
Wonderful. And do you mind sharing your website again and where they can find your podcast and YouTube? So whatever way they like to follow best, they're able to.
Yep. The website is marksteele.com. That's MarkSteel.com. My LinkedIn is pretty active on LinkedIn at Steele Speaking on LinkedIn, or you can just do a search and find Mark Steele. And I'm also very active on other social media, all at Steele Speaking. And I have a podcast. The podcast is also called Invincible Success. And if you do a search on YouTube of Invincible Success, you'll find my YouTube channel. So wherever you go, just do a search for Invincible Success, and I'm sure you'll track me down.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mark. I really appreciate that, sharing kind of behind the scenes and behind the curtains some of what it's like to bring the book forward and what you've learned and discovered. And again, I just celebrate the amazing work that you do, all that you're doing to help people step forward, help people step into being invincible and bringing their gifts and talents to the world. Thank you for leaning in, saying yes to your book, saying yes to all of us and the work that you're doing and the messages that you're bringing forward.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate everything that you helped me with to make it happen, and I certainly appreciate this opportunity to talk to you and your listeners.
Well, thank you, Mark. We're thrilled you're here today and appreciate it. And listeners, we want to thank you as well for leaning in. I encourage you to reach out to Mark. He's amazing. I know you'll enjoy connecting with him. And we just scratched the surface today, so there's so much more that you can lean into. His book is also available at Amazon.com and Kindle, print, hardcover, softcover, whatever format you like there, it is available. We encourage you to get your own copy today. And we want you to start taking those steps to bring your message forward, your book forward, your gifts forward, because you're absolutely needed in the world. And I want to encourage you at that nudge that Mark received to start doing it. Stop just thinking about it someday, but really start taking the steps, start writing it out, start bringing it forward, and then get support along the way. You don't need to do it on your own. We are always here and happy to support you in any way we can, to answer questions, point you in the right direction, or even help you bring your book forward. So as you go back out into the world, take a couple moments to start mapping out in your calendar, start taking those steps to bring your book and your message forward. Have an amazing week, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall-Gruyter for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.